see dope people. Welcome to another episode of Dope People. I am your host, Hayden Green, Brooklyn's favorite polymath, and we're looking a little bit different today, right? We're not in our normal studio. We are in Martha's Vineyard taping this episode, and I can't say that I'm Martha's Vineyard favorite polymath because there's a lot of dope people out here. I'm pretty impressed. But today, I have a really dope person that I want you to know. Oh, and in case you're wondering what this whole dope thing is, it's a throwback term that refers to something that's great, something that's awesome. And so I know a bunch of dope people, and I want you to know those dope people. Today, we have one of the dopest photographers that has ever walked the face of this earth and is out here just killing it. And I am really honored to have Mr. Keith Major as part of our show today. Keith, thank you for coming on. Put your hands together for Keith Major. Keith, how you doing?
Yeah, I'm beautiful, man. I'm good. Thank you, Hayden.
Well, it is my honor to have you on the show, and I thank you for finding the time to actually sit and talk with us. So, Keith, we calibrate everybody's understanding of the word dope with a simple question for all of our guests. Who's the dopest person that you know? And it could be somebody you met one time or somebody that you know for a long extended period of time, but who's the dopest person you know?
I'd have to say it's my mentor, Anthony Barboza. He's a senior photographer who was the guy that I apprenticed under when I first got out of college for photography. And just for so many reasons, his work, the life lessons he taught, the life lessons he continues to teach, and just his stories and who he's connected with in Black media over the years. He's definitely the dopest person that I've met, and without him, I don't know that I would be the photographer that I am today.
Is he still working?
Yeah, he's still working. Currently, lots of fine art photography and working on his. He did a retrospective book, and he's working on the second book. Second current book. He's actually had a few books before the retrospective.
That's one of the things that I always tell photographers is like, hey, listen, get your work out there, put a book out. You may sell one copy, but there's something special about seeing your work in print and seeing it and being able to say to somebody, hey, go buy my book. Yeah, it's a really special thing.
Yeah, I need to get on mine. I've been everyone who knows me knows that I've been working on this for a long time, and it's been it's time to stop dragging my feet and get it done.
Yeah. You mentioned that at the shoot that we were working at, and I was like, I can't have more books than Keith Major. How about that? Put that as a fire under your feet.
All right.
Well, Keith, speaking of mentorship and speaking of the shoot that we were at, one of the things that I think is dope about you is that you are kind with your knowledge. And what does that mean for me? You mentioned at the shoot that we were doing this thing, and you mentioned that you had taught high school, and at that particular shoot, you had two people who had studied under you as high school students, and they sang glowing praises of your classes and the way that you work with them, but you were always nurturing them and always being able to willing to share your information without any kind of pretense or anything like that. And I experienced it myself, right? Because you changed out modifiers off of a flash, and I was like, I'm curious why you did that. So I asked the question, and there was never a point where it was like, man, why you see me working? Why are you asking me these questions? I'm too busy to answer. You were like, no, here's the reason. This happened, and then I changed it, and then I got a better result, and that was and as you said it to me, and I'm like, I should have known that. Like intuitively, I know that's exactly why you did it, but you never looked at me and go, dude, you say you're a photographer, right? You should know why I switched this modifier to that modifier. But it was never about that. You were kind with your knowledge, and I saw that with the young apprentices that were with you, also kind with them in telling them what they needed to do and telling them why you were changing things or which lens you were going back and forth with. So I thought that that was really dope. Some people get to the level that you are at, and suddenly everybody becomes minions or peons, right? But that's not you.
Yeah, no, I never believed in that. I never felt like I never liked playing that God's gift to the planet because I'm a photographer role on set, and that the people that work with me are, who aren't in my position are minions, and everybody has to respect my position on set and blah 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 blah. It takes a village to make images, and I didn't make the camera, I didn't make the lights. I often don't carry the gear. I'm not the caterer. And we need all the parts. And I think that part of us elevating as a race of people, human beings in general, is recognizing, love and kindness. Like we actually have to begin to really practice it a lot more. A lot of things have gone to crap because of just meanness, and it's so unnecessary, and it's not the way forward.
Yeah, it was very refreshing to see that because I've been on shoots where the photographer is like, I was like, dude, you put your pants on the exact same way that I do, right?
Yeah,
So
I mean, I've always felt like, hey, we're just taking photographs. It's not like, it's not like we're saving lives. It's. I mean, I love what I do. Don't get me wrong, and I take it seriously. However, I don't think that I'm any more important than the next human being.
Yeah, and it shows, and it's wonderful to see. Well, I want to thank you for that, and I thank you for being that dope person. We're going to take a quick break, but when we come back, we're going to talk about what dope thing that you have done or continue to do, because I know the list is pretty long, but I'm really curious to see which one you're going to pick. So we will be right back in a few minutes with Mr. Keith Major.
I see dope people.
Welcome back to Dope People. As usual, we have a bunch of dope people who I want you to get to know a little bit better. I'm outside of my normal studio in Martha's Vineyard, trying to be just as big as our guest today, Mr. Keith Major. And I got a long road to get to the point where I'm on Essence and all the rest of these magazine covers. But I'm working my way up there, Keith.
Marathon,
So,
that's for sure.
so Keith, tell me, what dope thing have you done? Whether it is one time, I took a picture of Lil Kim, or I continue to mentor young photographers. But what do you consider something that makes you dope that you do?
Wow. In the family of mentoring photographers, I was photo director at Ebony from like spring of 2021 to the summer of 2023. And the thing that I miss about doing that is the spaces where I could hire photographers to perform tasks. I did the lion's share of the covers, and I was very proud of the motion covers that we did. But I was also part of the photo direction for a couple of covers by the great photographer and director Joshua Kissy. It was an honor to really photo direct and help make those come to life. Also, Dapper Lou submitted a cover that he did in Jamaica that was quite awesome, and just overseeing, that stuff. And then hiring people like Anthony Artis and other photographers. If I'm forgetting your name, I apologize out there to y'all that I've hired. like Sid Foster is another one. But I really enjoyed that, and I think the highlight of that for me was we went to Nigeria, and was sponsored by the GT Bank in Nigeria. Had an event where they had Mario Bobo, the editor in chief at the time,
Right.
to speak, and she engineered them sort of financing us getting out there, and we shot a fashion story using all of the African designers that were at the particular fashion show. We used their clothing. We used an African, the Nigerian producer and fashion great Eniafi, who produced everything. We had all local talent, all Nigerian talent. My crew was Nigerian. The BTS and video components were all Nigerian, and they all were extremely dope and did a great job. And that was very exciting. I was very proud to be a part of that. I was also very excited to be able to pay, rates to our people across the diaspora, in that way. And so I do miss doing that. And I miss the community, more than even the stuff that I was doing with them. So I feel like that's probably the dopest thing. And it still leans into my commitment to sharing my knowledge and,
Right.
the things that I do with other photographers.
And you bring up a really interesting point, because one of the things that I hate the term third world countries oftentimes say is that we don't need handouts. What we need is to bring your economy here. We need you to bring your business here, right? It's we have plenty of skilled people. We have plenty of resources and all the rest of that. So what's really necessary is that when you are looking around the world for those skilled people, those resources, those places to shoot movies and fashion and all the rest of the stuff, think about us, right? And it's really dope to be able to say I took business to a place that needed my business, and not just like paid money to the United Way or something like that, but actually infused money into the economy of a place that really could use it. So I think that's really dope.
Yeah. And it was definitely just such a beautiful experience, I'm pretty sure in the future though, there'll be opportunities to do that again.
Yeah.
I definitely want to be able to connect in the media space our people across the globe.
Hey, listen, and if you need somebody to carry a strobe light, let me know.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, we'll do that for sure, man. For sure. That's the dream, right? That we're on the plane, heading to Ghana, and we're fretting about the gear that we had to bring, and the carnet we had to sign, and all the things you have to go through in customs. But
Exactly.
yeah, that's the dream.
Cool. So, Keith, I always end the show with a dope moment in history. And I want to take us all the way back to 1969. And full disclosure, I try to stump my guest, but I kind of figured you will know who the person that I'm talking about. This person is credited with being one of the first people to write and direct a major motion picture. And he wrote and direct a motion picture called The Learning Tree, and it was a semi autobiographical adaptation of a book of his. And so that movie in 1969 preceded his next movie, which was called Shaft.
Yep.
And he's more known for his photography, but that's really where he started. So who are we talking about?
Obviously, the great Gordon Brooks.
That is absolutely correct. Ding, 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 ding.
Yeah, I mean, that guy was, I don't know how many of us have come close to what, he's accomplished, because even those of us who direct, he painted and he composed and he wrote, and so he was truly a Renaissance man, particularly to be a Black man in America at that time and the challenges that he faced, and coming up, not well off, as a Black person, and to find his way into very high spaces because of his immense talent and will. He was a great man.
And I was really wanting to talk to somebody who was a photographer on our show because I wanted to showcase Gordon Parks as one of our people, because that's my North Star, right? When I look at what my trajectory could possibly be, how I want to be remembered when it's all said and done, Gordon Parks is my North Star. And so I'm happy that you're on the show, but I'm even more happy that I'm talking to a photographer so I can talk about Gordon Parks.
All right. Yeah, it's funny you say that, because I remember looking at your stuff, and there's definitely that influence, the way you approach your work and the creativity of your compositions. Definitely, I can totally see that connection. Yeah.
Man, all right. So we can wrap it up right now. Comparison to Gordon Parks, I've arrived. I'm good. Well, Keith, I want to thank you so much for coming on the show. Can you tell everybody where they can find you if they're looking for you?
I'm very easy to find. You can find keithmajor.com. My website, it's just my name, keithmajor.com. You can be linked to my socials through the website, or you can just find me on Instagram. I am an Instagram junkie, and so I am on there. And again, it's just Keith Major, but I'm fairly easy to find.
Yes.
Yeah.
So look Keith up if you're not familiar with his work. If you love what we're doing right now, like, save, share, subscribe, do all the things with this podcast. And of course, if you know somebody who should be a guest on Dope People, please reach out and we will get them on the season. But until then, Keith, have you had fun? I hope this was great for you.
Yeah, this was great. And I look pretty decent on camera too.
Yes, you do, right? Who could talk about this like that? What do we look like on the other side of that camera? Well, Keith, thank you so much for your time, and everybody, tune in next week when we will have another dope person for you to get to know. And until then, go forth and be dope. See you, everybody.